Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by
Jason Harris,
Greg Nagel,
and Tim Mather.
Yeah, Greg's back.
We did it so long he forgot how to do it.
We had to switch up our order.
Podcast. I was like, how do I plug in a camera? How do I plug in a microphone? Where do I buy beer?
Yeah,
What is happening?
Today is a very special day for many reasons. One, Greg's back.
Yay!
In a limited capacity. I don't know. Are you back full time now, like every week? Or
I'll be back, yeah. As long as my numbers look good, I'm staying.
can we have a little brief update on your situation, or you just not want to talk about it?
Oh, for sure. I think it's super important, especially for people who drink beer quite often, like our audience does. I think gout is very real, and I've struggled with it over the years, but this year, just from being stuck at home and, buying cases and flats of IPA, it really hit me hard in July. I had my first flare up that was really bad. My whole ankle was like a coffee can. And I couldn't walk, couldn't drive. It really sucked. And then, so I went to the emergency room and they're like, yeah, you have bone spurs or something. And it was misdiagnosed. I got, put on a lot of ibuprofen, which I'm allergic to, which gave me a huge rash for about 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
And then once I got off of that, I finally went to a podiatrist who said, hey, you have gout. That's gout. And here's gout medicine. And she didn't give me all of the gout medicine I should have gotten. So I had another flare up after that, probably mid-August. And then another one after I finally went to the doctor and said, dude, I need I joined a Reddit gout forum, and everybody's like, dude, just get on allopurinol and have a nice day. And pretty much that's what I did. And one of the symptoms after you get on that medicine is you have one more flare up, because all of the essentially your uric acid is really high in your blood. And once it gets to a certain point, it starts to crystallize, and those little crystals get stuck in your joints, usually around your toe or ankle or knee. And so once I finally got rid of that, I bought myself a uric acid meter, which you can buy out of Amazon. You prick your pinky and drop a little blood in the thing, gives you an accurate reading. I verified the results. I did in the parking lot when I was at the doctor to get tested too. So it was like the numbers were exact.
Nice.
So I trust the equipment, and now I can just do it every week and go, okay, I'm normal, and there's nothing stopping me from drinking a beer.
Nice.
Obviously, I'm not going to pound cases anymore, but like these beers, I'm probably going to have like 2 or 3 ounces of and dump. There's no way I can drink 20% alcohol beers and still walk the next day. I wouldn't trust it. So
especially for the beers we're drinking on the show this week. This week we decided, since Greg, well, I think it was Greg's idea to do stout.
It was my idea.
So.
Well, let's bring Greg back, and then
the idea was
let's test out that medication there, Greg.
Yeah, exactly. A few people shipped me some stouts, so I was like, why not start there? So I don't even have to go beer shopping.
It coincidentally too has been the first cold day in fucking probably 8 months. Yeah, it's in the 40s here.
Yeah,
so,
it was raining pretty much all night over here in Moreno Valley, and then it's been a dreary morning. I love it when it rains. I love dark skies and wet weather. So yeah, the theme of the show and the weather and Greg coming back and us getting a new president and our first female vice president. Like, what a great fucking day.
I woke up this morning. I knew it was raining all night, but I was awoken by a huge loud noise. And I thought, is that fucking thunder? I was like, no. I went outside and somebody's launching mortars over my house. And I was like, wait a minute. Where's my phone? And it was like live 5 minutes ago. I was like, dude, my neighbors rule.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about Joe Biden being announced as
Mr. Biden.
President-elect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fireworks would have went off here, but it was pouring down rain like really hard. Like so yeah. Otherwise, Mother's Day is a fireworks holiday here. So
for sure, yeah, same.
I was just I was getting ready to go on a run, and I usually procrastinate before I go on a run. And when we're gonna do a show, I procrastinate by putting all of my gear on, and then I'll come in here and like I'll set up the background for the live stream. I'll do like the little intro video that we play. I'll do the Google Doc, and half hour, 45 minutes later, I actually go on my run. And so I did all that. I left to go on my run, like left the room, came back to get my phone for some reason, and I looked down and I was in Safari on my iPhone looking at like this NBC like map that they had, and it had the yellow check mark next to Biden for president-elect. And I'm like, what just happened? So I was like 2 minutes late to the announcement. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
We've literally been watching CNN like all week, to the point where I was joking, like, I feel like I'm on a first name basis with all the major analysts on there now. And
Steve
like
fucking Kornacki, dude, the man.
We literally were watching all week. And of course they call it while I'm sleeping. I got a text because I forgot to put my phone on silent. One of my friends texted me like, oh, they called it.
Yeah, I jumped on my treadmill to go on my run, and my dad called me on FaceTime. And I picked up my iPad and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm talking to my dad now. And yeah, it was, we didn't like jump for joy or anything, but I told Yvonne, and she's like, oh my God, finally, because this week has just been weird. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I've been anxious. Like, I'm at work procrastinating on doing things because I'm constantly checking for updates on numbers and
refresh. I was like, I sought out the Secretary of State like vote count websites for every state and was like refreshing those. Right. Like, I want the source.
I didn't go that deep, but but later on, like yesterday when they, and maybe even Thursday when they were breaking down like Pennsylvania and how those votes were going to be coming in, I started feeling better, but there was always that underlying anxiety where it's like something weird might happen. And since day one, I was like, nope, we got this. And Melissa's like, I don't want to say anything positive. Like, I don't know. And I was like, no, I got to keep it. And she's like, today she's like, well, I have to hand it to you. You kept the faith the whole time. Yeah.
I decided to opt out on Tuesday. I was like, nope, fuck all this. I'm just going to fucking have some adult beverages and watch anything else. And then I'll deal with this in the morning. And then there's like 3 more days of shit. I was like, God damn it.
And well, your decision was like a good decision because I went to bed a mess on Tuesday night. And it was like, nothing was even close to being resolved on Tuesday, and it was a complete waste of my emotional energy.
You guys, I bought Diablo 3, and I've been playing that all week. I haven't done anything else. I haven't looked at the news other than the firework. I was like, all right, the firework.
We got the firework.
I've been wanting to try that. I bought that spooky ghost game, but I haven't played it yet because I got a VR headset finally.
Oh, nice. Which one did you get?
The Quest.
I got the Quest 2. Yeah,
sweet. We should be friends.
Yeah, it seems to work pretty well so far. I played Squadrons on it, but it's weird playing Squadrons in VR. I saw these reviews that are like, oh, it makes the game. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if you can look around. You're in a TIE fighter and you've got a bubble like over here like this. And so if you look straight forward, you can see out the window. If you look up, you see the inside of a TIE fighter. If you look over here, you see the inside of a TIE fighter. So you're sitting here with your head like rail forward the whole time. I'm like, I could just be looking at my monitor. This doesn't help me at all.
I bought Pikmin 3 for the Switch, and then I bought the new Legend of Zelda God, I forgot. Hyrule, whatever. It's like a slash 'em up kind of like you get swarmed by thousands of enemies, and you just get to hack everyone to death.
That
comes out on the 20th. So, but I haven't played anything because of this stupid election. So I'm happy with the outcome. I think all of us on this show definitely are. We're not going to dwell on it for that much longer, but I will say I'm super stoked that Donald Trump is finally going to be fucking gone, and Joe Biden's in there, and we have our first woman vice president who's also a person of color, who's also a very smart attorney, who is going to be a very, very awesome vice president, and she can be very well utilized to take care of a lot of things in this country. So everything right now, at least for today, is looking awesome, and I'll leave it at that. So,
did you see that technically there was a POC vice president like 100 years ago? Like Woodrow Wilson's vice president was like a full-blood Native American.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a fun fact I learned today.
Well, shout out to her, to him. I'm sorry, to him.
Yeah.
So, but this is the first female person of color that's vice president.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, we're drinking stouts today.
We're drinking beers.
I don't know about that transition, Greg.
You literally have Black is Beautiful beers.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't want to introduce them with speaking of color. Jesus. I swear to God.
They're dark beers. For Christ's sakes. 2020.
I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back, Greg.
Yeah, so we're drinking stouts this week. Like Greg already alluded to with Jason. Jason's got all the Black is Beautiful beers. We have a couple overlaps. At least Tim and I both do. And other than that, it's
grab bag.
Yeah.
Grab bag.
It's grab bag.
I didn't have to go to the store, so this works out great for me. I had all these beers.
So I'm going to kick it off with my first beer that Tim also has, which is what I'm assuming he's opening. Old Rasputin.
I will. Yes, sir.
Rootin' tootin'. Old Rasputin.
Did you get IHOP raspberry and blueberry syrup though? Because that's really
no, but I should have. No, I was going through. So I feel like just in the certain times of needing to shout out to businesses, shout out to Sunset Beer Co. for my beers. They made it super easy to order online and just stop by and pick up.
Indeed.
But while I was looking through trying to figure out what to get, I saw Old Rasputin, and I'm like, I talk about that on like almost every show. I should pick that up.
Yeah, especially for a stout show. Like that's we've talked about it so many times as it being like one of the classic quintessential like stouts, and I did the same thing. I saw the list that you posted in our chat, and I made an effort to find that beer, and I did find it. It took me a minute at La Bodega, but it was on the lower part of a shelf, with kind of the shelf beers.
I saw that they have cans of it now.
Oh,
do they?
I follow Wine Warehouse, which is their distributor here in at least Orange County, and they have cans of Old Raspo.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, speaking of distributors and beer news, fucking sucks about the Shelton brothers. Although, from what I started hearing afterwards, apparently they were a huge pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah, I was talking to Scott Windsor at Windsor Homebrew Supply, which they have a good relationship, and he stocks a lot of their beers. And he's like, "Yeah, it sucks, but we'll end up finding those, some of the same beers out here. Like, he has a Cantillon, so you can go get Cantillon at Windsor and Anaheim, and but he makes you drink it on premise, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
But he's still going to continue to get those beers. It's going to be a little bit of a downtime, I would assume.
Nature finds a way. Those Belgian beers and foreign beers are going to find their way over here somehow. Apparently, they went out of business, like ultimately due to the COVID situation. But before that, they were pretty much just in debt to a bank. I think a couple banks for a lot of money. And
they got sued, right?
I mean, it's a bad time. They lost money in a lawsuit. They apparently lost their ass on Mikkeller, leaving them sticking with a whole bunch of beer.
Mikkeller and Prairie, yeah.
Yeah, and then in general, too, just like being a European beer importer is not a great place to be right now, right? Like people aren't clamoring for European versions of beers. Stuff like Cantillon, they're always going to have an audience, but like, are people really beating down the door for Saison DuPont versus buying, something from an American brewery? I think not really.
Say.
Yeah, I don't have the soundboard hooked up. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and a lot of those beers that you do find are a little cardboardy. They're not so fresh. They've been sitting in warehouses for, just not the best beer anyways.
In a time where American craft beer wasn't nearly as big as what it is now, Shelton Brothers played a really big role in getting good beer to an American audience. And now we have a lot of good beer. It's not to say that the foreign beer isn't good, but we've talked about it a lot, right? It's these beers that are classic beers that just get overlooked because we have so many other local great options to choose from, and I think that's what's hurting them too. So it's a shitty situation, but like I said, I think we'll find other companies that will, it'll get broken up, and other importers the beers will find their ways here.
I hope so, because I think with COVID, at least, a lot of breweries aren't doing a full lineup production of like odd beer styles anymore. You find like here we're doing our hazy cans, we're doing our West Coast cans, we got our Pilsner, and maybe we'll do like one or two other things, but creativity sort of like been like hit the mute button for at least a few months.
I think a lot of breweries would have they would put stuff on to round out their tasting room menus and stuff, just to have variety on. And I think that suffering because on-premise sales are in the shitter, even places that are open, nobody's going out.
Are you going to brew 12 barrels, 15 barrels of a Belgian double during COVID times right now? Because
those kegs will sit around for 2 years.
They're brewing what's going to sell because they're desperate, and they need revenue coming in, and so brew the beers that sell. I don't blame them at all either. So Jason, what are you drinking?
I started with the Smog City one. I didn't pour the whole beer. I poured like half of it because these are all huge, but I already finished it. The Smog City Black is Beautiful is super sippable, man. It's also the mellowest beer I have. It's only 7%. But we did that one on the show.
The Smog City show. I still have those. I still have 2 of those in the fridge.
Well, that was a really good variant of the Black is Beautiful beer. Yeah. That was episode 306 on July 23rd, 2020. If you want to check it out.
So I just moved on to the North Park Brewing Company Black is Beautiful Imperial Stout. It looks like just a plain Imperial Stout without any shenanigans.
Now I had I had multiples of that left over as well, and I opened one I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I got a massive flocculation dump at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it settled out in the can like a lot. It made a splash in my glass. It was pretty gnarly.
Good to know. I gotta be careful of the end of the can.
Yeah, so be careful, because I think the turnover on that beer was pretty quick. So there's still, it didn't have time to really settle out, and rightly so. It's an expensive beer to brew. It was, at the time, breweries were trying to get those beers out there because Black Lives Matter was like the talk of everything in the media. So it makes sense. So I'll give them a pass. But I think under normal conditions, they would have let that beer sit maybe for a few more weeks to let it flock out a little bit more.
And because a man cannot live on stouts alone, when I was cellar rating, I found a Ghetto Bird from Monkish.
What?
Which is not a stout.
No, this is a farmhouse grisette aged in oak barrels, and I'm going to have this one as like a palate cleanser between all these big chocolatey stouts. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, man. Speaking of big and
let's see if it explodes and sprays everywhere.
It probably will. I got shipped to me a organic beer, organic stout from Eel River. Eel River is one of those breweries up in Northern California that you don't hear or think of too much, but I think it was the 2018. We were at the beer summit in Long Beach, and some of their beers are really good. I gave them a shot, and I was like, these are delicious. Whatever you guys are doing, you've really turned it around.
Yeah, I saw beers from Anderson Valley at La Bodega, their Oatmeal Stout, which is a pretty classic, well-known stout. I didn't buy it just because I only bought a 4-pack of the Old Rasputin. I didn't want another 6-pack of another stout. So even though it's a pretty drinkable low ABV stout, I just didn't want to have all that stout. So
this looks like it's nitro, but it's not. It's just a regular old CO2 beer, but it's really extremely frothy, and the mouthfeel was just super good.
Before you picked it all the way up, I thought you just had like some sort of latte in your glass. It looked like
So it's done with collaboration with a chocolatier in their town and also a coffee house of Humboldt Bay Coffee Company and Dick Taylor chocolates. And it's super chocolatey. The coffee sort of in the back end provides some of the bitterness. Really, it's 6.5%, which is like right in my wheelhouse of a stout.
Yeah, that's ideal.
It's one of those beers you can drink all day. I think I'll finish this can today.
Tim, what do you think of that old Rasputin?
It's been a long time since I've had this. It's come across kind of hot actually to me.
For me, it's coming across more bitter than I remember. Kind of like a dark, like a chocolate bitter, like not necessarily hoppy bitter, but
Cacao bitter.
I kind of like, because I'm kind of sick of pastry stouts. There were plenty of pastry stouts to choose from at La Bodega, and I didn't get any because it was just like, I know what I'm going to get. It's going to be a lot of vanilla, maybe a lot of chocolate, and whatever else they're going to pack
Some
in
nuts.
there. Right. And I'm not dogging those beers. Like, I'm not going to hate on those beers, but it's for a show where we're going to drink 4 different stouts. It's not what I wanted.
They have a time and a place for sure.
You can't always have cake.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is also leaving more of a bitter aftertaste than I would expect. Granted, also these are stouts, not porters. So you're going to get a little bit more of that lighter, as opposed to like super chocolatey. But it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think for stouts,
I was going to say I always associate Rasputin as having this like sort of ashy finish. Do you pick any of that out?
I would say that. Yeah,
that's probably the best way to describe it. Actually,
like hot and ashy.
Yeah, that's why it was meant. Like, I feel like there's some heat, but also like there's this sort of flavor on my tongue of I'd say bitterness, because I'm kind of thinking in terms of like hoppiness. But when you mention ashy, I could see that when you eat something that's like been like the burnt ends of something.
Yeah. It's also, I think it's the malts coming in there, like the darker malts. They're using more of the bitter, acrid malts in this, rather than just the malt you'd use to make it a darker color. And I think it shows.
It's from a generation of beer that was more about that wasn't leaning so heavily into the sweet, right? Like, people started picking like, oh, I'm getting a very subtle note of coffee or a subtle note of chocolate in this, and then just amplifying that to where it was the only flavor. But Rasputin from before that really was the trend.
Yeah, it was my first Imperial Stout.
I was just going to say, for a first-time beer drinker, I think it could be a bit of a challenge. What did you think the first time you drank it, Greg?
Oh, I thought it was delicious. I was like, wow, it's big chocolatey, and it's just. And you're drunk before you know it.
I'm trying to think back to the first time I had it, and the first time I can clearly think about it was there's a bar, restaurant, cafe at LACMA in like Mid City. And I think we were hanging out there, and I'm pretty sure it may have been the first place I ever had it. And to your point, John, like when I first had Old Rasputin, it was probably the equivalent of having Black Tuesday now. Like, just in terms of like, oh my God, this is so thick and heavy.
I could see that.
9%. And now you're like, oh, like 22% stout's no big deal.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, this is a 9% stout, and it's a head changer for sure. And if you are, like I said, if you're new to beer, it's impactful, definitely. But after drinking stouts for over 10 years as a beer geek, it still has its spot, like that nice bitter ashy character. I do appreciate, and I wouldn't want them to change anything about this beer.
No,
I've never cared for it, and I try it every few years again, and I'm like, yep, still don't.
Still ashy.
still not my jam.
I'll get the syrup.
But
you guys gotta find this beer. It's so super good.
That's the Black Tuesday?
The mocha stout. Mocha stout from Eel.
Shit. Oh, that's right. I'm actually surprised because Eel I've always had pretty dodgy experience with.
Yeah, this is goddamn delicious.
I was a little jealous when I saw those lists. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to mix in something like a mocha kind of thing would be a good mix in here, not to mix up with all these. But I think this next one, oh yeah, this will do it.
What's up next, Jason?
My third Black is Beautiful beer, from 903 Brewers in Texas. I grabbed this one off Tavor. Shout out to Tavor. Oak aged Imperial Stout, aged on coffee beans, vanilla beans, and cocoa nibs. So
Yum. That sounds bomb.
And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because it's not the monkish grisette show, but this beer is amazingly clear. It's been sitting in my cellar for like 2 years, but it is just crisp. If you told me this was Coors Light, I would believe you.
How's the carbonation on it? Yeah,
good. Dude, the carbonation is good. It's still nice and tart. It didn't overcarb. It's just this thing's cellared perfectly. It tastes great.
Way to go, Henry.
Yeah, it's just fantastic fucking beer. Monkish. Everyone sleeps on Monkish's farmhouse stuff, but I think it's way better than their hoppy stuff.
The grisette's also very interesting, and I think under brewed style. I'm trying to remember exactly. Like I did a show on that a couple of years ago when I had my own podcast, and I think it was like a working class beer, kind of like the
equivalent of
style,
like a session grisette style.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. The grisette style. I'm trying to remember. It's something to do with gray, and it was. I wish I could remember it.
It's okay.
Yeah. We did it was definitely something. I feel like Matt would bring a grisette on the show like a couple times a year.
It's a very low ABV Belgian beer is basically, I think, what Tim is getting to. And, it's a beer that you'd give, if you're coming in from, I don't know, work in the fields or, I don't know, farming or whatever, and you're all hot and you're getting some food, you have some food and a nice grisette because it's low alcohol and refreshing, and you get to...
especially when you're coal mining.
Well, here's what I was looking for. The name, which means little gray one, may come from the name of the local gray-colored stone or from the gray frocks worn by the women who serve the beer in local pubs. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Sorry for the grisette derail.
Anyway,
there.
Sorry.
That's fun.
It's one of those styles that I like. I'm really interested in. I did a whole history of styles, and there were so many interesting things, and that was one of the ones that we did that we really was cool stuff. Moving on, back to stouts.
I got me a cash stout from Mason Ale Works down in Oceanside.
Nice.
I think they changed all their labeling. And it's a 9.4% Imperial Stout that surprisingly was $10 for the 4 pint cans.
Wow, that's pretty cheap for what you're getting.
I was like, dude, how do you keep the hobos out of this? Like, come on, man.
Greg's like, listen, Mason Ale Works, when I told you to send me cash for a good review, that's not what I meant.
Here's your cash. No, I bought this one, but holy shit, there was like $10 for 4 beers. How is that even possible in 2020? But
was it on clearance?
For that ABV. No, they had fresh 4-packs of it, but it's a collab with Moster Coffee, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard of Moster with their they do a lot of brewery collabs.
Yeah.
And it's really earthy on the nose, kind of peppery almost. Really interesting aroma. It's so weird to smell beers again.
My next beer is actually a collab between 2 breweries, and it's 2 different beers. This is, I'm going to try to bring the picture up here. This first one I opened is from AleSmith, and it's called Philosophy and Velocity. And actually, no, this is from Ommegang. I'm sorry. So AleSmith and Ommegang got together. They did a collaboration, and basically what these are, it's a blend of AleSmith's stout, basically.
Speedway,
and made with coffee and blended with Ommegang's Belgian style quad. So AleSmith did one with their own unique blend, and then Ommegang did one. And so this one that I opened is actually the Ommegang, not the AleSmith one. The cans look very similar. If you're watching in the live stream, that's the Ommegang. Well, you can see them right there. The Ommegang's on the right and the AleSmith's on the left. So they look similar.
Do that.
But the dominant brewery is on the top on each can, so you know which one you're getting it from.
If I saw that on a shelf, I just think it was Speedway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to like look at it because the way it's presented at La Bodega is they're side by side and they're slightly different colors. Like the Ommegang he's got more of a brown tone to the plaid or the checkerboard on it, and the Alesmith is just the flags and the black background kind of thing. Which okay, that works. Yeah, it looks more like a German Belgian-y kind of thing on the
it's got their plaid.
Yeah, that's cool.
Looks like if you had plaid socks.
Well, that's it's modeled after the Ommegang beer. It's the Three Philosophers, I think, is the name of it. Yeah, that's pretty much what the Ommegang Three Philosophers label looks like.
Okay,
and it's called Philosophy, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's the beer they're using. Like if you throw up on the screen share real quick.
See,
it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup situation where they brought the chocolate and somebody had the peanut butter, and they're like, "Oops, I'm off as a Reese's." Beer was made. You spilled your Ommegang in my Speedway.
You got Speedway in my Ommegang.
Philosopher and velocity.
Well, it makes sense, right? Philosopher for philosophy for Ommegang and velocity for Alesmith.
Yeah. We just got to make that commercial where it's like two guys walking in a bar, like not looking, and they bump into each other. Beer splashes up in the air and lands back down.
This is so good. Oh, man.
So Jason,
these are big beers, and I'm already feeling a little warm.
Tim, have you opened another beer yet? Oh,
holy
Tim's
shit!
gone.
He went bye-bye.
Tim out of existence. You said Tim, and he went yoink.
I don't know if you guys realize, but I'm actually drinking my beers out of a Spiegelau stout glass.
I saw that you got the stout butt plug glass. Right,
I've had this glass since 2012. I got it at the Beer Bloggers Conference in Boston. This is the only one that survived out of the 4-pack.
I was gonna say, knowing how thin and easily breakable the Spiegelau glasses are, anybody who still has one, it's like, holy shit, that's
I broke
survivor.
Mine. I broke mine like 4 months ago. Just holding. I was. You have that glass, and you know how thin it is, and sometimes you just squeeze it because it's like, wow, I'm squeezing glass, and it broke. It broke in my
squeezing. Just squeezing my glass.
You're squeezing.
Mine just takes a slight bump in
my
the
butthole.
It just takes a slight bump in the sink, and it's like, welp, R.I.P.
Yeah, if it falls over, it's like,
yeah.
It's like I turn on the sink, and then it's just Tom and Lannister just hopping out the window. That's my glass.
So Tim, what you got up next?
I'm moving on to majority of my beers are the classic like the higher level craft stouts that have been around for a while. But right. In honor of Michigan joining us back in the blue wall, I've got here a Kalamazoo Stout.
Nice.
Oh,
tying it in with the show and the theme of the day.
This one's coming from Bell's. I was
like, all right, the good Michigan brewery. It's like right. Fuck
yeah. So it's a stout brewed with brewer's licorice, which I don't know if I've had Kalamazoo Stout. I'm sure I could look it up and see, but I don't remember. And it says original 88 recipes. So this is an oldie.
It goes back.
Did they say brewer's licorice? That's not a thing.
Yeah. My buddy Brad Daniels here in Anaheim, he makes a stout and he uses brewer's licorice. And for whatever reason,
tobacco, is that just like a slang?
It's not. Isn't it just anise?
Oh, I had myself a little bit of old brewer's licorice. Just
I have no idea what it is. I've never seen it or bought it myself, but that's in his recipe, and I could always pick it out.
It was it was very intriguing to see that on the label because I'm one of those weirdos who actually enjoy the flavor of black licorice. So. Yeah,
I like black licorice.
It up now. I need to know what this shit is.
Let's get educational here for a quick second, Jason. Tell us what it is.
It's the root. God damn it! This is going the whole history of licorice as a whole.
Well, the old licorice was born back in the 1490s.
Yeah, it's like modern marvels, fast food, and it'd be like, food was invented 20,000 years ago. It's like, God damn it, modern marvels, you went too far back. Like the metallurgy goes back to prehistoric times.
Like if you go to morebeer.com and then look up brewer's licorice, like what do they have? Like who makes it and how much is it? And
I found Brewcraft USA has it, but it's discontinued.
Rip.
Try using a brewer's licorice stick. I don't know. It seems like all it is everyone being like, "What the fuck do you do with this?"
Ew.
It seems from my quick read that brewer's licorice is the thing that you actually use to make black licorice, and then star anise, which is what a lot of brewers use to simulate that licorice, that black licorice thing, are two separate things. One's a spice, one's an actual, I don't know, key ingredient to licorice. So
it should be like a magic wand that you tap your brew kettle as you're brewing, like magic
There you go.
licorice.
we got Lemonade 2020 in the chat coming in with the actual knowledge here. We didn't even have to bother.
Brewer's licorice is a potent ingredient that adds that well-known spice kick to a beer without having to use star anise or fennel. So yeah, pretty much what I said.
And apparently it comes in like hard, dry sticks.
Looks
So
like a
it'd be
cinnamon
like-
stick.
Yeah, it'd be like licorice candy, but dry and hardened.
I want to put that in a hazy IPA. See what happens.
No, don't do that.
This is my brewer's licorice.
If you put that in a hazy IPA, you'll destroy it because
well, it could be
yeah.
good.
It's
never
like
know.
matter and antimatter. Putting it together, like it's just asking for bad things to happen.
Yeah.
The universe will
Listen,
explode.
After that
Taco
fucking
Bell and
gloop beer,
sauerkraut.
after the gloop beer came out, you can put whatever you want in beer now. It's fine. Just that fucking gloopy ectoplasm beer, it was over the line. It's over the fucking line.
Yeah, that was posted in our. I don't know. Was that in the general Discord chat? I think it was. It looked like was it Greg who called it Slimer cum or something?
I believe that was me that called it Slimer's
Okay.
Jizz, but yeah,
That sounds
it
like a
looked like-
Jason comment.
it was neon green like Ecto Cooler, but they put like gelatin or something in it, so it literally was like viscous and like coming out in gloops and glops, and it was like a spooky Halloween beer that looked like Slimer's cum. And it's like, why would you drink this?
Well,
Why?
Hype.
Why?
Going back to my beer, the version of philosophy and velocity from Amagong. This definitely tastes more like an Amagong beer. Like you get a little bit of a roast note from the stout, and it's more of a big Belgian kind of dark bready, sweeter flavor. It's very smooth and very drinkable. The head on it is super fine. Really tight-knit bubbles, caramel head. I'm saving this glass to compare to the AleSmith blend because I'm sure the AleSmith blend is going to be more chocolatey, more kind of maybe bitter, and maybe not as like dark bread character as this beer is. But this beer, if Amagong just released this beer on its own, it'd be a fantastic buy. It's really, really tasty. It's very drinkable, very deceptive for the ABV.
Well, I mean, both beers are really good, so I can see that working.
Yeah, it's kind of genius that they came up to do that. The idea to do that too.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool concept. Like, I'm really curious to try them out now.
Speaking of which, I'm pouring the AleSmith version. So, Jason, what are you pouring now?
I'm still working through the 903 Black is Beautiful beer.
Oh, right.
Did a pretty good job, honestly, with the cocoa, coffee, vanilla thing. It ends up having that kind of mocha flavor. It's a big stout, but
is it too over the top? Because it sounds like it's trying to be a pastry stout, and that's not something I'd want. But I do appreciate like adjuncts in stouts that kind of complement the beer itself.
I think they didn't go overboard with it. They didn't try to make the beer super sweet. The vanilla is coming through, but it's very coffee forward.
Good, awesome.
Like it tastes like drinking a coffee forward flavored coffee. So there's a little bit of flavor to it. Like I said, there's a little bit of that cocoa vanilla flavor coming on the back, but the major dominant note is coffee. But it works really well. It's a very good beer.
Did you say coming on the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slimer jizz.
Yeah, going back to the slime beer thing, it's sort of like a Jello shot, but a beer version, right?
Yeah,
that's what it looked like in the pour, and even on the can it said contains gelatin. So if you're vegan, don't buy that beer.
God, yeah, it's got horse hooves.
I'm gonna give that to someone as a prank.
That would be a fun Halloween prank. Like here's this beer, and it's all gloopy.
Just act like it's normal the whole time. Be like, what? Oh, what? You don't normally have that? No, it's how it's supposed to be. It's good. Just drink.
It's supposed to be gloopy.
It's gloopy. Anyway. It's gloopy.
Okay, where are we at here? I'm lost with who's drinking what.
I just opened my third.
All right, Greg, what are you drinking, man?
I just opened a third beer all the way from Maine. It's Maine Beer Company's Mean Old Tom.
I believe we've had that on the show before.
I don't know if you can see.
It literally looks completely white.
It's just a white label. Mean Old Tom is a stout aged on natural vanilla beans, not barrel or anything. They're just a bunch of Madagascar vanilla in stainless steel, I think. If I could read the 6-point font, I would tell you more about it, but I can't read that small.
Wow, we had this beer back in 2014, episode 10 of the show.
Huh. No way.
Holy crap.
I'm going to have to go back and listen.
That's crazy.
Dude, it smells like just fresh vanilla and like a roasty chocolate. If you can imagine that. It's just like vanilla and coffee together.
In 2014, getting Maine here was kind of a get too. They weren't distroing out here yet, so anything you got from them was just kind of a nice bonus at that point. Oh man, baby Matt Becker is in the photo for that blog. Hold on,
you know what? I think
5 people on stream need to see this.
I think in 2014 I was actually in Maine and I brought home the beer from.
I was going to say that's where the beer came from.
Yep,
it was only had baby Becker.
And the cool ship, that was from my main trip.
Yeah, if you're in the live stream, I was at Matt's house in Riverside at that time, and he was brewing a small batch of beer, and I believe that's when he worked at the brewery. And he's like, "Yeah, it's not that difficult to brew beer now," and he wanted to get it as simple as possible, and that's what he did. So
that's cool. Well, it's fun to have a little throwback to my vacation.
Yeah,
even though I didn't realize it.
We also had cool ship Cerise from Allagash.
Mm-hmm.
So
those are some good brewery tours. If you're ever out in Maine, definitely stop by Maine Beer Company and Allagash. And Ebenezer's Brew Pub is another cool spot. That's my main top 3.
Not to drag the show down, but for coronavirus, like we have had our worst case yesterday, like 130,000 cases. So Jesus. Don't go anywhere. Just please stay
if
home.
You're planning a trip or after.
If you're planning a trip in 2022, go there.
If we're ever able to leave the house again, I'm just gonna do a live chat with a guy in Maine. Can you put
your webcam out of your window, bro?
Wow, look at the leaves changing.
A lot of pine trees for sure.
Yeah. I moved on to number 3 here. This is another classic. This is Obsidian Stout.
That's one of my favorite stouts.
Yep. I usually go for the Black Butte Porter. So this was a different get for me than usual. So I'm pretty stoked to have this one.
I can't say I've ever had that beer.
It's so good, dude. It's like it's just your straight up stout. There's it's textbook.
Yeah.
So it's not in your face.
It's not the same beer, but when I was in Bend, I actually hung out on the mirror pond, like the mirror pond from the beer.
Mm-hmm.
I hung out there. It's just there's a bunch of cool little like shops around it and stuff, and we got like a coffee shop that just had a little thing on the pond. It was dope.
Nice.
Yeah, Bend, Oregon is one of my favorite places. It's such a cool little small town, but obviously, like the per capita beer is crazy and delicious.
Yeah.
The coolest thing is like taking a lift from like one side of town to the other to the farthest apart beer destinations cost me like $8. So it was really cool. Yeah, no, I was dude, we went like 3 years ago and just Ubered around everywhere to a bunch of breweries and stuff. It's great. Super cool beer scene. Went to a bar in a church. Platypus Pub. It's in a converted church.
Praise the Lord.
Super dope. There's a homebrew shop up top, and then in the basement there's a bar. Cool stuff.
I'd open a bar in a church, like an abandoned church. That sounds cool. Like churches tend to, unless it's like I don't know, the church I went
Lost
to.
Abbey?
Yeah, well,
should
if it was
they should buy up a church.
I think they did. No, maybe I was dreaming.
No, they had the nasty old stone brewery, and it was really dirty.
No, they bought a new location somewhere that's like going to be built out of an old church.
Why does that sound vaguely familiar? Yeah.
Yeah, so much
if I can never leave the house, I'm going to go there. That sounds dope.
Yeah, we can go worship.
Going back to my beer, the AleSmith version of the Philosophy and Velocity. Of course, AleSmith's is more stout forward, get more of a roast character, big time chocolate character, which is nice. A little more prickly on the carbonation, more bite to the like bitterness, I would say. But smelling them side by side, you definitely pick up on that like Belgian triple aspect from the Amagang version. It's cool how it's blends of the same beers, just in different quantities, or maybe they added things to it as well. I don't know.
It adds a spiciness layer to it.
It's more of like that Belgian
yeast character.
Yeah, yeast character. It's not a spice thing. Maybe a little bit of spice, but nothing like over the top. If you were to have one can today and then another can tomorrow, you would see a subtle difference on the taste, but maybe not on the aroma. But when you have them side by side, you definitely pick up more of like a roasty kind of chocolate character from the AleSmith version, and more of like a Belgian bready kind of sweet character on the nose from the Amagang version. They're both nice. Very, very well done. I have no complaints about either beer.
I'm gonna pick those up. And going back to mine, the vanilla in here isn't overdone. It's it's a very stouty beer with like the vanilla adds a freshness to it. Like if you go and stay at a hotel, you know how like hotel sheets are like, they just add stuff. They smell fresh. You just want to climb into bed.
They smell fresh. They're nice and crisp.
Yeah. They're very like the vanilla in here is very soft, like somebody powdered your face and it's like poof. You know what I mean?
That does sound pleasant.
It has a nice softness to it. It's cool.
Like you got antiqued.
Oh man, good throwback.
I cracked open my last one. I realized I had 2 smog beers and they're all like 14%, so I could skip one. But this is one of my last Highland Park Bottle Friends exclusive bottles that I got.
That label is so great.
Yeah, that's their Bottle Friends, their beer club member with the happy and sad crying little kitties. And this is Age of Discovery, which was a Great Notion collab malted milk ball imperial stout.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was a imperial stout with cocoa nibs from Ghana. And then this is cinnamon whiskey barrel aged, which I didn't know that they put that shit in barrels, but apparently they do. So like Fireball barrels, or equivalent.
Sure.
Maybe it was cold cock. Who knows?
Cold cock, is that a thing?
Yeah, I feel like I used to see like random banners around for like cold cock whiskey. It was weird. I would like drive in the mountains and they were like, "Yeah, can we just put a banner on your yard?" That's our viral marketing. But I'm a little concerned because I hate cinnamon whiskey. But this was included in my membership. So like,
it depends on what it's mixed with, though. Like cinnamon whiskey mixed with I had like a cinnamon toast crunch shot once, and it had Fireball and like some sort of a creamer, and it was really good.
Maybe that's what they're going for here. So the nose, I'm not getting a lot of the cinnamon. I'm getting really more of a cocoa kind of thing. But that's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. It does have like a spicy finish though, like a cinnamon liqueur. But yeah, it's very chocolatey. Kind of chocolate up front and a little bit of spice on the end. That actually works pretty well. I'm pleasantly surprised. And this is also fairly old. So not old, but it's been sitting in my cellar for at least a year. So solid ass beer. I'm gonna finish it.
Sounds sick.
My last beer is a barrel-aged 1050 from Oscar Blues. And I know we've had that beer on the show before. I want to say Matt brought it down. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. I can't find it on the website at this moment. But I love 1050 as a beer. 1050 always is... we talked about Old Rasputin and how that's more on the bitter side or roasty side of stout, and 1050 is, I think, a step above that. It's a stout through and through. They don't mess around and try to, dummy it down to make it drinkable. It's this beer, I think it's 12.5% alcohol by volume. I took a picture of it and my camera couldn't focus on the can because it was so, the label, like the contrast between the black of the background and the text was so like, oh, that's me, was so minimal. You can see it in this shot of all the cans. Like you can barely make it out. Like you can see Oscar Blues at the bottom, but yeah,
we have had 1050 on the show. November 2014, episode 24, Matt Seller Blowout. November 2016, episode 48, Oscar Blues Explosion.
What? But barrel aged. That's
Nope,
what I have.
That one's not barrel. Oh, you have the barrel aged.
Yeah.
A regular 1050 we also had in 2019 on episode 278.
Yeah. Well,
we had in 2017. Barrel aged we had in 2017 on
we did.
episode 50.
Okay.
1050's been on the show a lot of times is what I just learned.
Okay, yeah. No, of course, 1050's been on the show quite a bit, but the barrel aged version, I think, was few and far between. So, okay, 2017 was the last time it was on the show. Pardon me, everyone, for having a duplicate beer on the show, but
I'm not saying it's wrong. I was actually surprised how many times we've done it.
Pardon me.
That's
Do you
fair to
have any
point out,
1050?
1050 fucking rules, so we can have it a lot.
1050 is like a staple of big ass Imperial Stout.
That's
the first one I've ever had in a can,
and the most slept on
True.
one too. Like for
doesn't
sure.
that
Like
my memory is that one pours like motor oil.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, my lighting in here is very,
Hence
very
the name.
poor, but
Yeah, that's fair.
it's very dark with a very, very dark head. And I say this all the time. If you've seen my YouTube videos and listened to this show for any length of time, I love seeing dark head on stouts because it just looks so much more appealing. And it's just packed with those dark malts. And the nose on this, it smells like alcohol and powdered baker's chocolate. It's like sticking your nose in a can of that baker's chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't tasted it yet, but it smells fantastic.
I was today years old when Greg just pointed out, hence the name. I'm like, oh, like 1050, like motor oil.
Yeah.
It just clicked in my brain.
Really?
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Jason. 100%.
You're the fucking motorhead, dude.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
motor
I'm like,
oil.
oh yeah. I actually have 50 weight in one of my cars. So yeah.
Dang.
Greg, what's up next, man?
I'm gonna invent a little thing for this webcam that just puts a beer on a pedestal and just goes boop. This is the 2020 Black Tuesday aged in port barrels.
Okay,
It is,
now Greg's flexing
wow.
right now.
It is well, here's the thing. I swirled it around the glass a few times and I took a whiff and it actually like burned my nostril hairs a little bit. There's a lot of heat coming off of this beer, man, where you can smell it. It's like, holy shit.
Did they put the ABV on the can on that beer?
It's 19 point
Okay, so it's Black
19
Tuesday.
point something.
Yeah, that's
19.5.
Black Tuesday.
There you go, John.
And it smelled hotter than hand sanitizer.
Which we're all used to that smell now.
Yeah,
it's
we are.
got the, it smells like Black Tuesday, which for me has like this sort of s'mores character mixed with like burnt raisins and other dark fruits sort of rolled in a ball. And then there's like backed up with vanilla and bourbon character and stuff like that. And I don't get much of the port coming off it more than just wet barrel character. I mean, maybe the port adds another layer of sweetness to it because port wine is very like high ABV as well and sort of sweet on its own.
So you said you don't get a lot of port off of it, but you get more wet barrel character. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, holy shit. Okay. The flavor's totally different. This is where all the port character comes off in the flavor.
Okay.
So,
But explain the wet barrel versus you don't get
wet
port.
barrel. Well, I would assume that
Like wet
port
wood?
barrels. Yeah, like a waterlogged character. Like you can really, the wood really comes off. It's not like a bright note. It's sort of like a lot of wood character coming off of it.
Okay.
But this the flavor is all caramelized honey. It's extremely sweet, almost like mead in a way.
Wow.
But wow, shit.
It's also 19+%. So I'm sure a lot of that's coming from the alcohol in the beer.
Yeah, it's extremely sweet.
Craig, you really for your first show back. I mean,
he's coming back, and we're just gonna kill him. He's not coming back ever again.
No, I'm just having a few sips of it.
That's all you can have of that beer too. Yeah.
I've had Black Tuesday every year. I'm well familiar with it. I know I've had a lot of the variants at the parties and stuff like that. But this one, they also released. There was a vanilla version, and there was another can in there. I forget what it was, but this one just sounded like the most intriguing one with a port barrels.
Earlier on the stream, you showed the box that it came in. They sent you a media sample, and I know they're kind of pivoting this year because of like everything
virtual
being
box
online. So it's a virtual box of Black Tuesday, which
it came with 2 glasses.
Okay, Tim said this too. Cans. Like Tim was kind of like weirded out because like it's Black Tuesday in a can, but now it's like a multi-pack Black Tuesday that's in like a thing you could buy on a shelf at Total Wine. You know?
Yeah. So there's bottles and also can versions. So I got a bottle, a can, and the 6-pack of wow. I'm gonna be if
on that on that virtual tasting note, I got an ad on Untapped today about they're doing Extreme Beer Fest online package for $100.
Oh, I want to do it.
It's 10 beers. It's like, yeah, we should do it. It sounds fun. The first beer is Beer Advocate and Beer Thug Life and Crowns and Hops doing a triple dry hopped West Coast triple black IPA.
Yeah, I saw Jason post about that. Or no, Todd. I'm sorry, Todd on Twitter. I want to say he poured it, and he has like his photo was a pour of the beer in a glass, and that's one of my favorite styles of IPA, black IPA, and I am down for the hype on that beer. Yeah, if you guys want to like speaking to us on the show, if you guys want to like buy that, I am down to do that. Like,
let's do it.
Extreme Beer Fest when it was in LA for the first time.
Such a good fest,
and the only time. Was really dope. So it sucks that they have to pivot to an online thing, but still, like I'm sure the beers that they are choosing for this multi-pack are going to be fantastic.
Maybe we could jaded as I am with a lot of new beers coming out and stuff like that. I really had a good time at that festival, and some of those beers I had were phenomenal.
Yep.
The LA,
like, please do more of these things.
The LA EBF that I went to was super good. I was going in really skeptical. They invited us, and I was like, I guess I'll go because it's free. And I had a blast. It was a great fest.
Worth every penny.
Yeah. Even when they start having it in person again, if they do it on the East Coast and the West Coast, and they don't invite us, I would still pay to go.
I would travel for it.
Yeah, lines were fairly short. Like when you're comparing to other beer festivals. It was easy to get beers that were all good, like high quality beers, and it
was well represented. Like Sam Calgioni's there, like brewery people were there. It wasn't like sales reps and shit that don't give a fuck about a festival. It was legit.
Maybe we could do like GABF where we like heckle the stream like MST3K style, or something. Like we're watching the video and then we're doing our stream over
like you did with Extreme Beer, or I did with not Extreme, but with the awards ceremony for
yeah.
When is it? By the way, that video went over pretty well. Like people liked that, and it was just me, which I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
this is
hey,
John, you're the famous one on our show. I don't know.
I am not.
You were on New Brew Thursday.
Greg is the famous one.
Greg is Orange County famous. Like just everybody in Orange County knows Greg, whether it's for beer or not. He just knows literally every person in Orange County.
Every chef, I know a lot of people.
Yeah, I was on New Brew Thursday, but Steve was the star of New Brew Thursday.
All I know is every time I go anywhere, they're like, "Are you John for New Brew Thursday?"
Yeah.
Except for that one time that guy was like, "Are you John for Better Luck Next Time?"
That's true. Yeah, that was so surreal. Yeah, that was bizarre.
So good.
Yeah.
Just like my boyfriend was like, "Hey, I love your band, John." I was like, "You're a small world."
Quickly chime in here. my last one here is a classic from Great Divide. I got the
Oh,
Yeti.
the Yeti.
I
in
love
a
that
tiny
beer too,
little
man.
can. So cute.
How is it? Did you pour
Didn't
it?
you, didn't you have a pumpkin spice Yeti for the pumpkin show?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason did. Okay.
Yeah,
never
that was
mind.
good.
Sorry about that.
No, it's I mean, doing a little recap of the last three because I haven't really talked too much about them. I got the Kalamazoo was good. It was very smooth, very easy drinking. It was a little bit on like it was just right in that zone of like toasty, not overly bitter, not sweet at all. That one was great. The Obsidian, it kind of bumped the toastiness up a bit, so you got a little bit more of that darker roast character. So I feel like I've been working my way up because the Yeti now, this one sure is that like really deep toasty malt, like kind of burnt, not burnt in like it's over roasted, just that kind of really good dark flavor with a nice little subtle sweets. So it's rounding all out. So this was a good note to end on, honestly.
Nice.
Cool, man.
Well, this was a fun show.
I'm stoked
Greg.
for those stouts.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, Greg. Like we sincerely
Cheers,
missed you. Joe Senegalia from Jazz Arcade on YouTube, he subbed in for you a couple times. He didn't join us at all during October because he was doing the Sober October thing. Although if you watch his channel, he had videos like every other day. Those were all pre-recorded. So yeah, in October he didn't drink any beer and he did 400 plus miles on his Peloton bike. So
God.
yeah, but shout out to Joe for subbing in for Greg and Sarah also for sitting in a couple times. And yeah, I'm stoked that you're back, Greg. I think in the future it'd be cool if like we could have like, given what we're using with StreamYard, we could have even more people on with us doing shows. It's pretty easy, and for me, as far as editing goes, it's a cinch. It's not a big deal at all. So yeah, fun show. Welcome back, Greg. And
Thanks,
yeah, cool.
I'm excited to drink actual beer now. The the non-alcoholic beers just they're so bad. There's nothing else I could say about that.
They don't hit well.
So the one beer, remember how I said it was a double IPA? It's a double hopped beer is how they call it. Not a double IPA.
Right.
But that one, not the regular Athletic IPA, but they have a double hopped one that I found at the store, but is not on their website. So maybe this beer is just a fucking figment of my imagination. But
No, I've seen it in stores as well. Yeah.
Their double hopped IPA, non-alcoholic, actually pretty good. Every other NA IPA I've had is dog shit.
It's wort pretty much and hop extract.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much every NA beer except for Heineken 00 and that one IPA.
That's the one.
Don't bother with. Yeah.
Heineken 00 is the one thing that kept my sanity for a lot of. I bought a shitload of that because it just tastes like beer. Yeah. And you can add a lime to it. You can make a michelada with it. And it just works. It's not offensive in any way. You just want something that's beer-like. That's Heineken 00 is the one
I got chastised on my beer review of that beer on YouTube for being like, my comment was, it just tastes like a beer. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Dude,
and people are like, whoa, what the hell, man? Like, what you snob? I'm like, I'm not being a snob. I'm saying, you know what, like macro lager or macro like cheap beer
tastes like a macro lager.
It tastes like that. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's just what it tastes like. And I was convinced. I thought it was a beer. It's that good.
It is good. A lot of the craft ones. Athletic was good. Brooklyn's has one that's pretty decent.
Theirs was okay.
Fresh, the other issue.
I will say Total Wine has added they've expanded their NA section quite a bit. In the part that used to all be craft beer is now NA beer and seltzer at Total Wine. Like they ate up a third of the craft beer section.
Oh, sorry, 1 sec. Hey John, we're ended the record obviously because show's over. I realized that I'm just doing a quick side note here.
I don't know if we ended yet, but
oh shit, sorry guys.
Let me let's see.
I stopped my
welcome back, Greg, and then we could stop it there.
So, Greg, we're back to have you on the show. God. So, Greg, we're glad to have you back on the show. And, tune in next week, I guess. And fuck 2020. I don't know. All right. I'll figure something out.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Well, yeah, I stopped recording. I was just gonna say, I was on my internal mic from the intro, so I'm just gonna add. I'm uploading an extra file with just my antimatter part. Okay.
Just that one part was on your intro. Oh, because you saw that it was on the wrong input.
Yeah, I was on the wrong input when I started.
Let's use last week's.
Oh,
I could probably use it from the because I record this too. So I could probably
whatever you want to do. Do you want me to just toss an extra file up or what?
Sure, if you don't mind, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just record. That's all it is, really. I'll just toss it up there because I realized like a minute in that it was on
the show for the Halloween, or not Halloween, but the pumpkin beer show. I said, "Welcome to the Four Brewers podcast," and I'm joined by. I didn't say my name, and so I redid it and put it on the actual show. So it's okay.
Perfect.
Shit happens.
I'll add that in. Sorry.
Well, stouts are fun, man. These are surprisingly good.
The sad part is they're all high alcohol, and I cannot drink.
Yeah, for sure.
They're most of these are half full. I'm just like, fuck, I can't finish all this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this fucking Ghetto Bird because it's 4%.
I'm drinking my Mocha Stout because it's 6.5% I can do. No, dude, that Black Tuesday, my gums went numb from it.
My numbs went gum.
Thanks everybody in the chat.
You blasted a line of Coke on the way.
Brett and Max Power, everybody that said welcome back. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
people missed you on the show, man. Dude. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back. Really.
Thanks, man. It was weird to quit drinking for 4 months, but
yeah, you got to.
You don't realize when you quit drinking, like it's like somebody died and you're like that you're friends with. Like all your clothes are like beer related, and
yeah,
like I'm finding like everything in my car is like, oh shit, here's like my badge from this beer fest, and you're like everything around you is like you surround yourself with beer. You don't realize it until you quit drinking.
It becomes a part of your personality. Like,
it is, yeah. I'd say about week 2 is when I was like, I don't miss it anymore. And then that was fine.
I took most of October off. Except for the shows.
Yeah.
But I did mostly sober October. Soberish Octoberish.
Well, I did not. So
yeah. All right, guys. I gotta take off, but it was a great show. Greg, good seeing you again.
Take off. All right, man. See you. Have a good weekend.
Bye, y'all.
Did they somebody posted a link. Oh, God damn it. People in Chicago outside of Trump Tower drinking shots of Malort on the street.
Nice.
And it's like,
oh, Malort.
That is a very Chicago fucking thing.
Leninade asked how much weight I lost. I'm down to my pre-COVID weight, which I had gained about 25 pounds from March till about July, which is pretty fast. Yeah, just sitting around drinking beer.
Wow.
I went up to 250, then I'm back down to what I was.
Oh man,
like 224, 225.
Dude,
so I still have a way to go.
Not drink. Yeah, I don't want gout. I don't wish gout on anyone, but it kind of worked to your advantage, like because it's just like the trajectory you were on with like get weight gain and still drinking beer.
You don't realize it. It just creeps up on you. Like I was like, dang man, I was like, you look at yourself sideways in the mirror. It's like, fuck, that's a huge belly. Well, it's like it's a belly.
Since I lost weight, like I'm obsessive about the scale, and I gained 10 pounds, over COVID, which I depressed the shit out of me. But in comparing it to others, it's nothing, right? So
10 pounds, nothing.
Not
you can lose that 10 pounds fast.
And I'm almost there. I'm down like 8 pounds from my gain. Like I got up to my highest was 203. And I'm like 193-ish. And like my ideal weight when leaving the house to go to work is under 195. So I finally hit that today where it's like, all right, this is a reasonable weight that I'm good to go.
I bought a rowing machine, which has been very nice. A really nice Nordic Track one that's like, I don't know, it was like $1,200 or something like that. And it's all linked to Bluetooth and with an iPad, you can watch your videos. And it's like a Peloton for rowing.
Get on Strava, man. They do rowing machines on Strava. Yeah.
Okay.
Not unless you don't want to.
I just bang it out. Yeah. So I'm at work at my desk and I turn around and bang out like a half hour on it. It's good.
Yeah, I think
hate
rowing.
walking, I hate running.
Yeah, rowing is the one thing that's very similar to running because it's like a full body thing and you sweat a lot when you row.
Yeah, it's low impact.
Yeah. So
I'm digging it.
Beep, 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 beep. I'm exporting. All right, let me upload before I forget.
You still have that Google folder, Greg? The shared
I was looking
folder?
it up right now. It was I
believe it's called
thought I
4
had it.
Brewers Recordings.
Yeah, it fell off my list.
All right, give me a second.
Let me see if I saved
I
it.
got it. I have it right here.
All right, cool.
Blam! Threw it in the private chat. It's fun, man. It's been a good day.
But I can't tell you. I didn't expect to be that giddy. Like when that firework went off and I heard that, I was like, "Wait the fuck up! It's official!" And they're like, "What?"
Yvonne and I both
For real?
I'm just being honest. Like, so I found out my parents I didn't want to talk to my parents because I wasn't ready to talk to anyone about it because I wanted to get my run in and I had to go to La Bodega still to pick up beer. And I was like, all right, I'll talk to them. And if they're watching, don't take that personally. But while I was running, I watched like Anti-Flag when their last album came out. They did like a video that was just them playing in their studio. It was overdubbed with the songs from the album, but they did it in consecutive order without breaks. And so it looked like they were playing it live, but it was just overdubbed with their new album. And I watched that again and like I got emotional like a lot during that because their last album is called 2020 Vision. And it was basically half of it was optimistic about people doing what they can do to change things and then letting out anger and emotion about what's been happening over the last 4 years. So that's basically it. And the last song on the album is I think it's called Resistance Frequencies. It's about like, are you going to like just sit back and do nothing or are you going to do something? And it was just, it was a weird run. Like I was so distracted from my emotions on the run on the treadmill. I didn't realize I ran 3 miles after the album was over. Like I felt like I didn't do anything. I was just like,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's a weird fucking day.
When Don Jr. said let's make these liberals cry again, I was like, I'm crying because I'm happy, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking 4 Seasons landscaping? Like there was like a fucking comedy show. Like, did you see that whole thing? Yeah. So Rudy Giuliani is like, we're doing a press conference at the 4 Seasons. And then they deleted it. They're like, no, at the 4 Seasons Landscaping Company in like
I did. It's like a garage door with Trump signs on it.
Yeah, and like it's literally like a shitty little industrial building next to a fucking next to a porno store.
Explain this to me. What the fuck is this all? Because I saw a tweet about it, and I'm like, you know what? I can't process this. What is happening? Is it a joke? Like,
it sounds like they were like, yeah, the 4 Seasons, and like somehow booked either they tried to play it off like, yeah, we're at the 4 Seasons because we're fancy, and they did this, or they made a mistake. Either way, it's fucking hilarious.
Rudy Giuliani, dude.
That guy's such a fucking moron. Christ. You know what's crazy? I was watching a documentary on Netflix about the fucking New York mob, and how basically they all got taken down. And it's so weird seeing like 80s Giuliani where he was actually like competent and capable of doing decent things and not a fucking senile old idiot.
It's the same thing when you watch Trump from 20 years ago. Like he was actually, I don't know. He sounded coherent and not crazy. And he like actually had a lot of like liberal quote unquote views and sounded normal. And now it's just he's off the fucking deep end. And Giuliani's the same way. It's
lead poisoning, dude. Telling you.
Even a lot of like the GOP senators and congressmen that are still going along with this whole voter fraud thing. It's to the point where like even the media is like, dude, this isn't a thing. The courts even, this isn't a thing. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? And they're like,
remember Russia? Like that was the thing.
Yeah, and that was proven to be a thing. That was interference. Like, and this is just like the courts, even though they're packed, and the Supreme Court is definitely right leaning, like it's heavy. I think even if this shit went to the Supreme Court, they'd be like, look, thank you for making us justices, but we can't because like this is all bullshit. This is nothing. There's nothing here. So that gave me peace of mind.
I'm telling you, boomers have lead poisoning from leaded fuel. It's a fucking real thing. Look it up. No joke. Aerosolized lead was in fuel from like the 1930s, and it wasn't really gone until the 90s. And people who spent like 50 years of their life breathing aerosolized lead are fucked up. And in fact, a lot of people are there's a lot of credible theories that prescribe that if you saw like crime and violence just kept going up every decade, right? The 60s, 70s, 80s, in the 90s, it hit a peak, and then all of a sudden it started going down. And one of the big contributors that a lot of people credit is that the aerosolized lead that was being put into the environment by every car in the country is no longer there. And like lead poisoning makes people fucking weird. It has really weird neurological effects on people when they have lead in their system, and it never goes away. So it's pretty crazy. Look it up. Look into it. I'm like,
on the surface,
thanks, Alex Jones.
Yeah,
exactly.
It sounds like Jason Jones. Like,
except for the opposite. That's what made Alex Jones like he is.
But yeah, there's a lot of positivity today, and
it made the freaking frogs gay.
Speaking of frogs, you guys watching The Mandalorian at all? No,
I haven't watched it. I watched the first season. Greg, did you see my cool little thing?
I like that.
Sing rules.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
That's cool, man. Where'd you get that?
On Amazon. The DJ stream I watched, the guy has it, and he showed what it was one day. I was like, this thing rules. I just spent like 3 hours just putting different little fucking GIFs on it. It's too big. All right. There's like an app that you can use, and there's all sorts of crazy little GIFs. Look, Christmas. It's Santa.
Oh, nice.
There's a million Among Us ones.
Can you see my shared screen and add it to the thing?
Yeah,
because I can't add it. I'm not like admin. Here's my the Shure mic thing. Sure.
That looks pretty sweet, man.
So
do you think it's worth me upgrading to?
No. I mean, my problem is my wife has my current Yeti, and it's like strapped to the desk. And for me to bring it in and back and forth, it's like a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I mean, it's a good mic. This one just has a lot of features. I mean, I haven't even done anything as far as I'm just using auto level.
I think auto level is the one big selling feature about that mic.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And then the far near thing is really good.
And it's basically a Shure SM7B in a smaller form factor that's USB and XLR. That's what's cool about it. You can use it analog and digital.
Do you hear a big difference from this to this? Like, hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, you got way quieter when you put it on near.
And then here it is on. Yeah, the pattern really opens up, so you don't have to be choked up on it.
You sound really cool. Full. Like, yeah, when you put it on the far mode and you're what, 2 feet from it, something like that. It sounds pretty full.
I'm using the NVIDIA noise removal on like a not like half, but like mid, and on Audacity you can see I have, like, if I turn it down, you can see like a small smidgen of just noise. Right? It picks up the room noise. If I turn it on here, it just gets rid of it completely. And you can't really tell a difference in my voice pattern. It's really cool.
I mean, ideally, I'd get you guys all like a road case with a compressor and noise gate and little mixer, and you could just plug it in via USB, and it would, all of that stuff would happen via analog processing, because that's what our setup is in here in the studio. But it's a lot of money, and that little mic, that new Shure mic, does a lot of that stuff in software very well. Like,
it's awkward too. Like the setup we have for Sarah, it's hard to get it on the desk. It takes up a lot of space because there's so many little parts. Like, you've built a room around that setup, right? But
exactly.
Putting it into a regular computer desk, it's really hard to have three or four different little components around. It's tricky.
So it looks like it didn't remove. I set it down a little bit too far, but you could see this little green spot right here. That's just room tone. If I turn that up just a little bit to like here, it gets rid of it. But then there's like noise gatey things that kind of pop in.
Greg, keep it on the low end, because I do my own post noise removal.
Yeah, it was on the low end. So just by looking at that, you could tell there was still some room tone that it picked up.
Yeah, keep it on the low end. Don't worry about it. The only thing, like in the beginning when you had it on your computer case, when you heard that vibrating hum, that would be hard to remove. But noise in the background, it's not a big deal.
Dude, Jeremy Danner just posted a video of him with something I've never seen. He referred to it as a shambong. And it's like a champagne flute with like a pipe on the bottom. So it looks kind of like a crack pipe, but he's just pounding a beer out of it. I'm intrigued and confused.
You haven't seen a shambong before?
No, like, you have?
I have.
Yeah, this shit.
This is so bizarre looking. Can you make the video full screen, Jason?
It's like he's fucking Gandalf and shit.
So
fucking Danner.
It's even funnier is that he's got fucking police sirens in the background.
Oh, I thought that was in my neighborhood.
Nice.
Oh man.
So
funny.
Here's a live view of this. So if I put it on the noise removal, it gets rid of that. If you turn it off, you should see it come back.
I don't see are you showing us your screen?
Oh yeah, never mind. I'm closing
That's
it down.
down here. We could add it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's up there now.
Essentially, it just removes the noise, which is kind of neat.
I would say keep it mid to low on the noise removal. Whatever you did with the distance setting, the distance setting sounded fine. And
I mean, it's far or near.
I think you had it on far, right?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, keep it on far.
It sounded good. Yeah,
and
far good.
I'll take the audio and see what it sounds like when I'm done with it, and it'll probably sound fine. Because Jason's is, you and Jason both have that same Yeti mic, and it's pretty hot even on the lowest gain setting, and I can make Jason sound like he's in the studio. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
I literally have the gain knob turned all the way down.
And I mean,
it felt hot today. Like, I was seeing the levels go higher than normal. I kept having to kind of move away from the mic because I was watching it go up to like yellows and red in like regular talking. So I kind of
Audacity.
Yeah. So I moved away to
turn down the input a little bit on Audacity if you see that. Yeah, just a little bit, like a smudge. Because I'd rather have you closer to the mic and not peaking than farther away to avoid the peaking.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did you guys see the new Photoshop neuro filters?
I did. Well, I saw the ones for Lightroom. No, did it? No, I'm sorry. It was Photoshop. Yeah. The one where you can change like the eyes and stuff.
Smiles. You can make people smile and you can make them look angry.
Yeah. You can add teeth to the smile.
They're like,
I feel like it's gonna look like fucking Superman in the fucking Justice League movie when they like fucking put his mustache off and everything looks fucking weird.
It was so bad. It does. I mean, if you take it to an extreme, Jason, it does look like that. But yeah, the thing they did with Superman, Henry Cavill, was just so awful. A fucking mustache.
So we don't have to do it now, but we can talk this week. But I'm down to buy this Extreme Beer Fest thing. It sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm down too.
It's not till fucking February, so.
Did you put a link? Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, you can buy the beer up until January, and then they ship it using Halftime Beverage is the name of the company. I never heard of.
Put the link in the private chat so we all have it.
I'm gonna put it in the general chat so everybody has it.
I don't think you're happy enough. I will make you happy.
I gotta put this on the bigger screen.
Let's put a smile on that face.
All right, make her smile less. Interesting.
That's fucking weird.
Dude, that works very well.
Surprise. Ah.
What?
That's weird. I'm gonna gaslight the fuck out of somebody with that.
Oh my god.
No, see, here's you.
That's so cool.
You can make her old. Hey, everybody.
Oh no, I don't want to see old Daisy.
The gaze is funny because you can change the eye position. I'm looking over here, and now I'm looking over there.
That's fucking yeah. It's weird.
Hair thickness.
This is some crazy shit, dude.
Head direction.
Oh, that looks uncanny. Yeah.
That looks goofy. You can change the light direction. That's kind of handy, actually.
The light direction's really cool. Yeah.
That looks natural.
I think Jason can do that with portrait mode on his new Nexus or as a
Pixel. I haven't fucked with it yet. Yeah.
Nexus.
So yeah, the makeup transfer you can let me see if I can find. I had where the hell did I put those pictures at?
Is there like a "We Live in a Society" filter where it puts Joker makeup on everybody?
I mean, you can suppose you like a model's makeup or whatever. Like I just chose this random image from Google Images, and it'll like apply her lipstick and eyeshadow.
No. How do you make that happen?
I mean, I think that's a bad example.
You probably have to have like a head-on like face shot. Yeah, like that.
See how her lips changed?
Oh, they did, yeah.
And her eyebrows. And you get some sparkly around her eyes. That's kind of weird.
Huh.
Smart portrait. I just love the happiness thing. And you're extra happy. And now you're surprised and angry.
Just use that for the solid.
Now you're surprised, angry, and old.
Now you're Lady Donald Trump.
Trump 2020.
You've turned your daughter into a woman Donald Trump.
Hey.
She needs a thin blue line American flag and Rage Against the Machine playing in the background.
Turn them all down and see what happens. You're the opposite of angry.
Oh no!
No, you're very young. Oh god! It looks like a meme.
My brother's in the chat. He said she turned into Vigo from Ghostbusters.
Oh my god!
Mostly like Vigo.
Children of the Corn or something. So crazy.
Lemonade 2020. No, there's a video on. I saw it on Twitter, where it's like it's some protesters at some like ballot counting site, and they're playing "Killing in the Name of," and they're just going off with their Trump flags and.
Chud's not understanding Rage Against the Machine has been like most famously Paul Ryan when he was the
speaker.
the Speaker of the House was like, "Oh, I love Rage Against the Machine." It's like you couldn't be more the machine.
Yeah,
like
just raging against.
The fucking genius of the goddamn Republican Party. What a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Well,
Greg, you have a beautiful daughter. I'll give you that.
Thanks. Look at her. Look at her in all her daughterness.
Do you just like text her these pictures? Like, here's you. No, the funniest thing, Lemonade, Tom Morello was calling out some of these idiots. And then somebody's just like, "Oh, well, what do you know about politics? Stick to music." And he was just like, "Yeah, you don't have to have a master's degree in political science from Harvard to discuss politics, but I do, so I'm going to." Super fucking dunked on.
Oh, that's he has an undergrad in poli-sci, if I remember. I think I heard that.
Yeah, they were born and raised in Irvine.
But yeah.
Oh man, this is we're doing the political talk today on the stream, and just look at this. They're like, I zoomed in on the photo. Look at his eyes. This man definitely had a cry in his car. Fucking owned.
That's so
him
good.
Playing golf today was just like, of course. His lawyers, like, I'm sure he has assembled a band of lawyers, and they're going to go and file lawsuits. But they're meeting up now going, "So guys, what do you guys want to do?" "Well, we got this thing happening over here." "All right, well, I guess we'll do that." "All right, that's been filed. What now?" "Well, you guys want to go get the COVID somewhere?" "I don't know."
Actually, a bunch of people just got COVID again.
That's that's the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of nothing. Like, I think the GOP crafted the nothing burger term. And
yeah, they did.
Now at the end of this fucking election, Trump's whole complaint about everything is a big nothing burger. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's complete horseshit. It's funny watching the chuds all fucking losing their minds. They're just like, "Well, the media doesn't call the election. It's not official." It's fuck you. I'm like, can you guys get to bargaining already? Like, you are,
yeah,
you're just fucking.
Denial.
This shit did not happen in 2016. Like, there was suspicion of foreign interference, and that's pretty much it. There wasn't like, "Oh, let's fucking monitor the polls, and they have to use binoculars to look at the ballots." Like, come on, really? That's your argument? That's the hill you're gonna fucking die on?
The biggest thing to remember is Trump is both lazy and a fucking coward. He's gonna sit here and like make shitpost tweets. I am a little worried that he's gonna like pardon every child molester in California just to be a fucking asshole. Like, every child molester in New York State is pardoned hereby by Donald Trump. They're back on the streets now. Fuck you, blue states.
What's QAnon gonna do? Like,
he's planning in the background. Q is secretly planning. He's watching everybody eat babies to make their skin shinier, and he's got a plan. And the great storm. This is the storm, patriots. You got to keep listening, and then Q will be there. The letter Q will save you. This message brought to you by
Trump's
the letter
Twitter
Q.
is hilarious. "I won this election, by a lot."
It was posted an hour before it was called for Biden. Yeah, that was funny.
And he's like,
Literally.
71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president.
Except for
okay, but you lost.
Okay, technically that's true, but Biden got almost 75 million, which is 4 million more than you dipshit.
Yeah, man.
And then Don Jr.'s like, how is it possible that like Biden can get more than Obama? And I saw one response. It's like, everyone hates your dad. Like, that's why. We're tired of your fucking dad. Go away.
Just leave.
Just
go away.
But I will say, my overwhelming message, I started seeing this shit where it's just like, remember, guys, the Trump supporters, are feeling. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. If you were a Trump supporter and you were sad, I would be shocked that you're still fucking listening to us. But fuck you. Fuck you. Maybe when you have your huge mea culpa, we'd be ready to accept you into civilized society again. But like you sitting there being a hateful asshole for the last fucking 4 years, and we're supposed to go coddle these dipshits. Fuck them.
Yeah, if you're okay with kids in cages.
Just all of it, dude. Every fucking part of it that they've cheered on. These hateful fucking assholes. Their friends tried to talk them off this fucking cliff for the last 5 years, and they berated and mocked them for it. And now we're supposed to go be fucking kind and help their feelings. Fuck them. Maybe they should start fucking apologizing and making it right with everybody for being such fucking pieces of shit.
That's not going to happen.
Fuck them all. Yeah, but start lecturing them. Don't lecture fucking me on how I need to be nice to them. Fuck them.
I really feel like a lot of hardcore Trump supporters that might see the error of their ways they were caught up in everything that's happening, and like almost like you're drunk, and then you wake up the next day and you're sober and you're like, what the fuck did I do last night? And I really feel like a certain percentage of his supporters are going to be like, I was caught up in this bullshit. And like, it's probably going to be like 2 years into a Biden administration where it's like, everything's still fine, if not better. Maybe I was wrong and I got caught up in Trump's like what he
No, they're going to be they're going to be complete assholes. Still, they're assholes because they're assholes. They're going to keep being assholes, but they're going to pretend they never got on the Trump thing and be about whatever Fox News is about 3 months from now. Whatever complaint they have that fucking Joe Biden used the wrong hand to lift a salad fork during a fucking meeting. They're going to be enraged about that, right? Yeah. And like they'll still be contrarian assholes. They have goldfish fucking memories. They'll forget everything and pretend they never did it. And we need to hold them accountable and tell them they're pieces of shit. Fuck them all.
I don't know. I think it's a small percentage, and I think it's a certain amount of people that will be like, wow, I got caught up in this stuff, and looking back, hindsight, it was all bad and wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's my optimistic outlook on Trump supporters, but not all of them. Again, a very, very small amount, but for the most part, I agree. They're all fucking assholes, and if you're still listening to us right now, then maybe you like abuse.
I mean, they are all really mad at Fox News right now. So Fox News accurately reported that Trump lost the election. They're like, Fox News is in on it.
The ironic part is like the actual Fox News wing of Fox Entertainment is kind of respected in calling these kind of things. Like, no, the news segment of Fox is actual news. What you see on Fox News,
they say that, but you could find countless instances of those guys just peddling fucking the same bullshit. They're not as brazen. They're not as brazen about it.
I'm not talking about news in general. I'm talking about for like election calling. Fox News and AP teamed up to separate from whatever other alliance they were with. And that just makes them that much more credible because AP held out for so long. That's all I'm saying.
I actually tuned into Fox News to see if it was legit because of their reporting it.
Yeah.
And Fox News had the actual electoral college like numbers where MSNBC hadn't even updated theirs yet. So I was like, damn, okay.
They were the first to call Arizona, I heard. So
good on them for just that.
For that,
that's one thing.
For being
even
actually true.
For being a stopped clock and being
maybe they're like, fuck. All right, we're done.
And if you're still watching our stream at this point, like this is us just like getting.
We've gained viewers. Actually, we have more than we had when we were doing the show.
Are we really? I haven't looked.
It's like 2, but it's still more. Okay. We gained two more viewers. We're doing it. We're a political show now, guys. We're Pod Save America.
I refuse to talk politics.
Speaking of Pod Save America, like
I've never heard that.
Oh, dude, it's really like shout out to Jon Favreau, Tommy Vitor. Like
I loved him in the Iron Man.
And what?
Jon Favreau is the same name as the actor.
Right,
John,
I got it. Okay, yeah.
Director.
That whole media empire that they've become started because Trump was elected, and they were all like, they worked for Obama, and like John Favreau was a speechwriter. They feel like they failed America somehow by allowing Trump to be elected, and they started Crooked Media, and they organized, they got people involved. Like, I'm not going to say they're solely responsible for this by any means, but like, shout out to those guys, man. Just it took a lot of different people doing things to organize people in their states. Swing Left was one of the first organizations I can remember that when Trump was inaugurated, they announced that they were a thing, and their first target was Darrell Issa, and they fucking took him out. And I don't know. It's awesome to see what happened over the last 4 years as far as like organizing goes, and getting the vote out, and getting people to be activists in not like a violent way, but like in a way to get people to vote and get others to vote for the right things. And I think Crooked Media is like a big one, huge shining example of like that paying off. I'm
giving a shout out to AOC. She's been on one on Twitter, and it's been dope.
Yep.
Pointing out that in all the swing areas that Congress people won, they were all the progressives that were running in swing areas won, and all the people that lost seats that were Democrats were, anti-Medicare for all, fucking anti-defunding the police, all the stuff that they're blaming. Yeah, those people were the ones losing. And
interesting.
You're already starting to see this fucking narrative that the Democrats just got to get more Republican. It's like, fuck off with that shit. No.
Mr. Snuts in Twitch says they have to get something out of it. He's got a wave of lawsuits coming, and he's running out of money. Well,
and they're going to stop because he's stopping to pay the lawyers. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They're going to just stop happening. They're like making filings and shit, and they're like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't pay his lawyers, and it's going to go away. They're seeing they're on a losing ship, and he doesn't pay. So, yeah.
Yep. I am not a politics expert, but I see...
This is the most politics we're ever going to talk on the Four Brewers stream.
At least for the next 4 years. Yeah.
But, fuck Nate Silver, too. I don't like that guy. He's kind of an asshole. Did you see that?
What is his job at this point? Like, come on. I checked his website 3 times over the last 2 years. And I will say,
I was using 538 to do election predictions. They still do a pretty good job of it, but Nate Silver is a douche. Did you see that random guy that disrupted a news report? Did you see that thing going on Twitter today? Like, a guy's in New York, I think in Long Island or something, doing a news report, and a Trump guy runs up like they do, and he's just like, "Are you real news or fake news?" And the guy just goes, "Fuck off."
Well,
the guy's like, "What?"
If you listen to it, I think he said "buzz off."
I don't care. I want to mention that he said "fuck off." The guy looks so fucking like crestfallen. He's like, "What? How dare you speak rudely to me?"
Yeah. Watching the clip, it's very satisfying. Definitely. Whether or not he says "fuck off" or "buzz off," it's just
look. I'll testify to the FCC that he said "buzz off," but we all know what he said.
Watch it again. He says "buzz off," but
I've watched it 20 times, John. Just watching these assholes who are just used to yelling and having everyone be polite, be like, "Sir, could you please stop? Could you please stop disrupting our newscast, sir? Just yelling "fuck off" right in his face." He's like, "What? Yeah, fuck you!"
Like, yeah,
eat a dick. Eat all the dicks.
Is this real news or fake news? Fuck you. Go away. Who are you?
Get the fuck out of here,
you waste of space.
And while I'm ranting about politics, let's stop fucking sending reporters to the Midwest to some diner to interview an old white guy and him being like, "Well, I'm not all the terrible things to say I am. I'll just vote." I don't give a shit what that guy has to say. Why is the only opinion that matters a fucking Iowa farmer? Like, I don't care. Fuck him.
Yep.
Start interviewing the fucking thousands of fucking, Black and Hispanic people that live in that same fucking town that have a completely different opinion. But no, we just got to go write a fucking fawning puff piece on the rural Trump supporters that are super not racist, except for if you go to their Facebook.
I mean, this might sound kind of elite, but talk to my gardener who's been like my parents' gardener for like 15, 20 years. He sent me a text that said he wouldn't be able to cut my lawn because he has the virus. And I was at work and it hit me and I got like so depressed. Not because he was, well, yes, because he was sick, but because his president failed him. He's just a hardworking, good businessman who does a good job, like out there doing his thing, and he got sick, and he's been sick for 3 weeks. And he said, quote, he feels miserable. This is not the kind of guy that like calls in sick to work. He'll if he can't like come to my house and cut my grass, which sounds so trivial, he'll send someone else to do it. But 90% of the time, he's the one that's cutting my lawn. And I like the guy. He's a genuinely nice, awesome guy. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry you're sick. Like I begged him to send me his address so I could still pay him, because I usually pay him with a check in person. And so I'm going to send him a check for like double what I normally pay him, because he fucking deserves it. And if our president if Donald Trump would have taken the proper actions to protect us, like my gardener might not be sick. Like he's a small independent business owner, and he's legit. Like he's a legit business. Like it's nothing that's like under the table. Like it's legit, and it pisses me off. I just got so sad when he sent me that text. That's it.
Yeah. Fuck him. Fuck politics talk. I'm done with it now. I declare bankruptcy. I did have a bunch of fucking stouts, so here we are. This is 4 stouts deep kind of politics talk right now.
Yeah,
Greg, I like your sparkly background. A little bit of the bubbly. I think you're on mute, homie.
Yep.
Mr. Snuts.
I went to the bathroom, came back.
Did we do a cuvee yet? Actually, I didn't do a cuvee yet. Maybe I should.
I can't do a cuvee of mine with the Black Tuesday. It's like
a pretty good idea.
That Black Tuesday, dude, is rough. Hopefully I conveyed that.
Jason, do a cuvee of all the Black is Beautiful beers. How about that?
I'm doing it.
The cash was also kind of rough.
Really?
But I mean, it's not bad. It's just like not as good as the Mocha Stout. The Eel River totally was the best beer in show.
Interesting. Good.
The cuvee smells pretty good, man. The Black is Beautiful cuvee. The BIB cuvee. It's like the EBDB B&B.
EBDBB&B. Is that a joke I should know or an actual?
It's from the league. It's one of the guys started the Eskimo Brothers database, the EBDB, and then he started a like hotel called the EBDB B&B.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Dude, the cuvee's dope. It's really good.
Turns out that if you mix a bunch of stouts together, they're delicious.
Yeah, let's try to put some of the Highland Park one in there. That's the outlier with the cinnamon.
God damn it.
So Evan Price moved in down the street.
From your house?
Yep, we're neighbors now.
What?
Yeah. He's like, hey, do you live in Anaheim? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we just moved into the colony. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. What's your address? And he's like, blah, blah, blah.
Your street?
Like, you realize? No, it's not my street, but it's a block over.
Okay.
But I mean, like, that's a 3-minute walk.
Dude. Wow, COVID.
You're going to go over there and be like, did we just become best friends?
No, I said I gave him some backyard limes from our tree and some guavas and stuff and dropped them off at the front porch, said hello. That's about it.
Someone in the SA beer Discord posted a guy on the SA forums joined April 18th, 2002. Hello, everyone. I've been a member of the SA for 18 years, and I've never made a post. The time is now. Fuck Donald Trump. He legitimately, for 18 years, has never made one post.
Oh my god, dude!
That is his only one. That guy's the king of lurkers.
I just put he's not Charles Johnson on my Instagram the other day, just to see if anybody would know what that reference is.
I usually do, but I don't.
What is that reference? Yeah.
There was like this video that was going around early essay, like these two kids farting around with a video camera, and one of them was like, "He's not Charles Johnson," and then there was like this huge goldmine thread that went on for like 25 pages of just hilarity.
Now it's just me.
You would have to live it.
I was just watching the Simpsons referenced it, and then I think some other stuff referenced it, but the like Ray J. Johnson guy, like, you could call me Ray. And then King of the Hill did a bit about it too, but his whole comedy shtick, they'll be like, "Hey there, Johnson." He's like, "Johnson." He's like, "Now you could call me Ray. Now you could call me Jay. You could call me Ray J. You could call me RJ, or you could call me RJJ." And his whole bit is just that. And he's like, "But you don't have to call me Johnson." And there's a whole King of the Hill thing where Bobby hears that, and all the adults think it's funny, and he can't figure out why. And he's just constantly listening to it, and he's like, beautiful mind, like, why is this funny?
Why?
Doing the math.
Lorenzini just posted in the chat for the 3 people still fucking paying attention. The Brewing Network is doing a tribute to Tasty McDole.
Yep.
In 30 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Join it.
And they're gonna have Justin Crossley from Brewing Network, Sean O'Sullivan from 21st Amendment, Vinny Colurzo, Mitch Steele, and Jamil Zainashev. I was like, that sounds dope. Yeah, we should watch it.
We should just watch that live on stream.
You want to do like a rebroadcast?
I'd be down with it.
Like a live broadcast? How
I
can
don't
do
have anything to do.
I'm just literally sitting around. So.
It's in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. It's on Facebook Live. Just put it in a window, put it on the stream.
All right. So if you're watching our stream, we're going to end this now. And maybe we'll be back with the Tasty McDole tribute stream. Tune in to find out.
Yeah, we should do it.
Cool.
Rip.